Hey, hi, hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jesse, and today I'm bringing you the end of the year book tag. This book tag was created by Ariel Bissett, and I feel like I say the same thing every year when I film this book tag. I cannot believe it's the end of 2024. I can't believe the end of the year is finally here. I mean, I know that we have 1 month left, but I can't believe we only have 1 month left. That is shocking to me. I know it's dramatic to say this, but it's a little hard to fathom because I feel like the year just started. And yet at the same time, I feel like I've lived so much life this year, so it's one of those things where it just sort of makes sense, but it also doesn't make sense at all. This book tag has a bunch of end of year reading questions, and truthfully, I don't read all that much at the end of the year. I feel like when it comes to December, I sort of check out because life gets really busy and I have a hard time reading during the holidays because of all the busyness, because of all the family gatherings, friend gatherings. I feel like I put all my time and energy into those things that when it comes to reading, I just have no energy left for it. So while I will probably answer a lot of these questions being I'm totally gonna read this before the end of the year, the probability of me reading a lot of the books that I'm gonna mention in this video is pretty slim. I'm gonna be real with you guys. Let's dive into the questions. Are there any books that you started this year that you still need to finish? There is one book that I started this month that I really want to read before the end of the year, and that book is The Ogress and the Orphans. I started this during a reading party that I had with my channel members, and I was almost sobbing while reading it during the live stream because of some of the lines. I feel like they were just hitting me so hard. They were mostly about kindness and just treating your neighbor really nicely. And we follow a character, an ogress, who is honestly not treated that nicely. People kind of look at her and judge her and assume the worst of her, and she still just opens her heart to people and is just so kind. And even the people that she doesn't necessarily understand right away, my stomach just growled. I must be getting hungry. It's close to lunchtime when I'm filming this. But the people that she doesn't necessarily understand and connect with right away, she takes the time to learn about them and understand them and connect with them. And I'm almost getting emotional talking about it right now. It was just such a sweet start to a story. There's so many lines in here that I wish I would have underlined. I forgot that I actually dog-eared a page. I know that's so sinful. I don't really see it as sinful, but I know that a lot of you guys probably see it as sinful. I dog-eared a page because there was a line in here that I just wanted to remember. Sometimes she had to beg for her supper. Sometimes she begged and then gave her supper to someone else. It felt good to be able to share and help others. It was its own sort of belonging. She discovered that she didn't need much, and she didn't want much either. Just a bit of shelter and perhaps a hearth for baking and a pot for soup. Something for herself, something to share, a way to belong. She learned to trade in kindness and discovered the tremendous value in small mercies and selfless giving. The more she gave, the more she seemed to have. It was the best sort of magic. I'm getting emotional again reading that. There's just something about reading a character who again is perceived as this kind of scary creature being so generous and helping other people. I didn't even explain what this book is about. This is a middle grade fantasy story. In it, we follow this town that had this library burned down, and essentially our ogress is being blamed for this. She's being blamed for the library burning down, and we follow these orphans, I believe, who are planning to kind of clear her name. But we have this mayor of the town who is sort of really going after the ogress and painting her as this evil being. But something tells me that he is the actual evil being and he's potentially behind the burning down of the library. So I'm excited to get back into this one. I feel like it's definitely going to be one that just continues to tug on my heartstrings, and I hope that I'm able to finish it before the end of the year because I'm really loving it so far. I just need to prioritize it. So here's to hoping I can find the time to prioritize this. Do you have any autumnal books that will transition you into the end of the year? I feel like Cackle by Rachel Harrison would be the perfect autumnal book to kind of transition me into the end of the year. This one has major witchy vibes going for it. I also saw Rachel Harrison at an event recently, and she just made her books sound so good. She has such a great personality, and I'm really hoping that that personality shines through in her writing style. We follow our main character, Annie, who is kind of at a point in her life where she is hitting the restart button. She just broke up with her boyfriend, and now she is moving to a village in New York where she meets this mysterious girl named Sophie. Sophie is this girl that a lot of people avoid, a lot of people fear, and our main character Annie doesn't really understand that because she finds that Sophie is honestly helping her restart. She's helping her kind of figure out what she wants to do next in life. So I think throughout this book, we are following Annie as she begins to kind of break down all the different layers of Sophie and learn more about her and learn more about her past, who she is and what she's all about, and I am super excited about this one. I love a witchy book. I feel like I have not read enough witch books, honestly, and I need to read more. I need to add more to my TBR. So I'm excited to have this one pretty far up on my TBR and potentially get around to it soon, and I feel like it definitely gives autumnal vibes. I mean, I don't know if there is autumnal vibes in terms of like the atmosphere, but just like the witchy vibes give me like Halloween vibes. So those Halloween vibes are translating to autumnal vibes, and we'll just work with that. We'll go with that. Let me know down below in the comments if you've read Cackle and you feel like it's a good autumnal vibes book. Let me know if I'm right in thinking that way. Is there a new release that you're still waiting for? There aren't any books coming out in the month of December that I'm anticipating, but I will say that there are a lot of books that I did not get around to this year that it feels strange that I didn't get around to this year. I will say that I have a hard time keeping up with new releases as it is. I feel like I really enjoy kind of reading back title books and focusing on books that have already come out, but there are a few new releases that feel a bit shocking to me that I never got around to. So the first one is Funny Story by Emily Henry. I've found that I love Emily Henry's books. This is somebody who used to be a romance hater, loving a romance author, and we love to see it. We love that character growth. I feel like Funny Story is one that I will really love. I feel like Funny Story is one that will really align with my taste. I read Happy Place this year, and that book just like hit me so hard. I unexpectedly completely fell head over heels in love with that book, and it just like shocked me to my core. I was not expecting to read that book and love it as much as I did, because I had read Emily Henry in the past. I had read Book Lovers. That's all that I've read. That's the only other Emily Henry book that I had read. I'm currently in the middle of reading one, but we'll talk about that in a second. But I was just so shocked by how much I loved Happy Place, because while I loved Book Lovers, I didn't like die hard love it. I wasn't like freaking out over it. I wasn't like, oh my god, I'm in my feely wheelies. But like as I was reading Happy Place, I was like, oh my god, I'm in my feely wheelies. This is an all-time favorite book. I can't believe how much I'm connecting with it, how much I'm loving the characters, how much I love the story. I was just shocked. And then when I finished it and read reviews, I realized that I was not in the majority. I feel like it's not one of the more well-loved Emily Henry books, but like, it was for me, okay? We're not here to talk about Happy Place anyways. I want to read Funny Story. I really want to read that one. And then Ransom Riggs came out with a new book this year, and I feel like a fake fan because I have not even bought this book yet. I really want to read it. It does sound really interesting to me. I think that I just have such high expectations. It's the first book Ransom Riggs has released that's outside of the peculiar world, and that terrifies me. That makes me so nervous that I'm not going to like it or that I'm not going to connect with it. And I feel like I just have such high expectations because I love the Miss Peregrine's books so much, obviously, that I'm gonna have to just like lower my expectations for this book and what it has to offer and just kind of give it a fair shot without kind of having those high expectations. So I'm still kind of like waiting for myself to come down and calm down, and then I will approach that book, I will pick it up and read it. And I'm excited for that day. I am excited to get around to this book. I just know that if I were to read it right now, that I wouldn't be giving it a fair shot. So those are two books that I would love to get my hands on. I might put them on my like Christmas wish list and see if somebody from my family picks it up for me, because I'm kind of trying to not buy many books here towards the end of the year. What are 3 books that you still want to read before the end of the year? I guess I'll spoil some of the books that I have for an upcoming vlog concept. These are books that I pretty much know I will for sure be reading before the end of the year. First one is an Emily Henry book that I was talking about earlier. This is When the Sky Fell on Splendor. Yes, it does in fact still have the little price tag on it. I need to get that off of here. This is one of Emily Henry's first books. It's YA. It's got a bit of a sci-fi element running through it. It's pretty much Stranger Things, honestly. I have not watched Stranger Things, so maybe that might be a fair assessment. I take that back. I have watched a little bit of Stranger Things. I've watched like 3 episodes, and I really loved it. I'm just bad at TV. I'm bad at sticking with TV shows. There's very few TV shows that I have finished, and if they are TV shows that I finished, typically they are reality TV shows because I am trash for reality TV, but that's a conversation for another day. Anyway, back to this. It definitely has like Stranger Things vibes, and it's definitely very different from Emily Henry's other books. This book is incredibly different than what Emily Henry is releasing now. I feel like she started out pretty experimental in the YA space, and now she's fully writing adult romance, which we love. I feel like she is killing it when it comes to her adult romance books, but I also feel like she does a really good job with YA books as well, because I'm really enjoying this one. I feel like the atmosphere is really nice. I feel like the sort of character work in here is something that we see today in Emily Henry's books. I feel like that's something that she has always been good at, apparently, because the character work in this one is really great. But basically, I guess I can tell you what this book is about. It's basically about this group of friends who get together every now and then and go on these like ghost hunting adventures, and one night they film something that ends up being very mysterious, very creepy, and really just changes their lives forever. Like, completely changes their lives, and it's really interesting, very mysterious, and I'm excited to keep reading this one. Then I'm going to be reading The Death of Vivek Oji. I've heard so many great things about this author, and I've been wanting to read their books for a really long time, so I'm looking forward to getting around to this one. This one sounds like it's going to be right up my alley. Obviously, we've got a bit of a death element. Y'all know how I feel about death books. I love them. I love any sort of depiction of grief, and I feel like that's going to be present in this book. It says it's the tumultuous, heart-wrenching story of one family's struggle to understand a child whose spirit is both gentle and mysterious. Like, that just sounds so good to me. I've heard great things about this author. There's one book in particular that I've heard amazing things about by this author, and that book is Pet. I really want to pick that one up at some point. And then I'll for sure be reading Bad Dolls by Rachel Harrison. This is a short story collection by Rachel Harrison, and it explores friendship, heartbreak, hauntings, and the occasional blood sacrifice. Again, as I mentioned, I do have a bit of a vlog concept for these books, so expect a vlog soon. If I can finish it and get it together. We'll see. Wish me luck. Is there a book that you think could shock you and become your favorite of the year? I really feel like two books that I already mentioned could be ones that I really love. I don't know if it's that shocking, especially because we know that I'm already really loving The Ogress and The Orphans. And I really feel like Cackle could honestly come through and become a new favorite of mine. Now, while these two are books that I have high hopes for, I honestly don't feel like any of them could beat out my favorite book of the year so far, which will come with my best books of 2024 video, so stay tuned for that, though I feel like a lot of you guys probably already know what book is my best book of 2024. Okay, the top tier, the best of the best. Y'all know already. Y'all know. If you've been watching my videos this year, you know. Okay, we'll leave it at that. But I feel like these two are books that I will definitely fall in love with. And finally, have you already started making reading plans or bookish goals for next year? Yes, 100%. This is actually one of my worst habits, one of my bad habits, because when it comes to November, my mind immediately jumps into the new year and starts planning for new year things, even though like I still have a little bit left of the year that I'm currently living. And also, time is a construct, okay? It's so silly, but I am already thinking about next year. I'm thinking about 2025. The goal that I will talk about specifically is my book bingo, which the reason I want to bring this up is because I want you guys to submit spaces for next year's book bingo that I create. This year and last year, I created a book bingo for myself to kind of fill out throughout the year, and I have different prompts for each little space. So I've got things like read 80 books, drink boba, and read a book, donate books to a free little library. So just a bunch of little things like that. That's one of the things that I definitely want to keep up with. So if you guys want to submit prompts for that, drop some for me down below in the comments, and it might be featured in my book bingo for 2025. That is it for the end of the year book tag. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely let me know down below in the comments some books that you want to get around to before the end of the year, before 2025 comes knocking at our door. I want to hear from you guys down below in the comments. If you like this video, be sure to go and hit that like button. If you want to see more bookish content from me, be sure to go and hit subscribe or go and hit that bell icon, and you'll be notified every time I post new videos. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope your day is bright, that tomorrow is brighter. Keep reading what your heart desires, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye, yo!